And we welcome you courtside here in Long Beach, California. Happy Cinco de Mayo, friends, as we bring you NVA volleyball here, match 2 of our opening day of this second weekend of the 2023 season. And this one that we didn't know was going to be a good one when the year began, but I think right now, as we take a look at the lineups for today, that this will be one that I think fans are going to enjoy. You have the OC Stunners against the Chicago Untouchables, a Stunners squad that went through the first weekend of the season in divisional play, beating the Puerto Rico Pythons in 5 sets. They lost in a pretty decisive loss to New Jersey.
Yep.
How did they bounce back from that today against the Chicago squad that lost against Texas in 3 and then came back and beat the LA Blaze in 5?
Yeah, and I think that what I look at here this morning, if anyone was watching the pregame show, I made the call here that all three of you said OC Stunners, which I think historically makes a lot of sense. But when I look at what's happened to these rosters coming into this event, we see Andrew Kohut coming in, just played over in the PVL in India, along with Matt Hilling. And so, you know, he's joining the squad for the first time, working off of a shoulder injury. It's his 23rd birthday today as well, so happy birthday. And then Grant Molesky from UCLA was with the squad, played right side last event, but it's likely that he'll be back in the middle here. So excited to see what that kind of dynamic. And then Daniel Venegas, who was with Team Freedom last year, he is absolutely a menace on the outside. So I think that there was a lot of things that are kind of starting to go right, and they're trending upwards for Chicago. When I look at the Stunners, I'm seeing that, you know, no Cody Caldwell, who's one of the best passers in the league, not here this weekend. And some of those extra pieces, no Corey Chavers, things like that. So obviously always high on the Stunners. I just think if Chicago's going to snag and steal a win, I think this is going to be the one, kind of like we were talking about Pythons, Matadors similarly this morning. So
yeah, if there's going to be a day where the Stunners are going to get upset by Chicago, it is today without all of their weapons available. Meanwhile, for the Untouchables, again, you have seen Josh Blair come in and just become, use the word menace. You know, great collegiate player at St. Francis, Pennsylvania, has come in and this year is starting to take over.
Yeah, he's the #1 scoring middle in the league. So just...
And think about that, because he's going against Nick West today, who has held that mantle for a long time.
Yeah, and so that's one of those that I'm looking at. But also, anyone that watched Grant Molesky last event, he could convince you that he is an opposite, like the fluidity, the natural just presence that he brings to the court. I cannot wait to see what he looks like playing in the middle. So there's just a lot of pieces for Chicago. And one of the biggest things that last year, that team was half Chicago, half Philadelphia, which led to the creation of the Philadelphia Founders.
Good point.
That all now removed. The only guy that's not a native Chicagoan is Daniel Venegas. He is the only guy on this squad that they're bringing in. So everyone else, they're at practice, they're training together. There is a lot of synergy, and the new owners for that team said, no, there is no exceptions. Unless he is an absolute all-star, they're going to be Chicago, born bred, they're going to be here because we want to get that team, you know, simpatico right back. We want to get everyone on the same page, reading from the same hymn book, and it's working. I think that this team, and you know what, they're celebrating that Python loss, because on that side of the bracket, when you have that stacked group of Freedom, Stunners, and Pythons, it felt like whoever was second behind Tyrants, whether it be Blaze or Chicago, maybe wasn't getting a fair nod if Pythons really showed up. Drop into a 3-0. If Chicago grabs a win here today, they're going to be at 2-1, and they're going to be putting themselves in a big spot to be making a playoff run really early on here.
Just like the Matadors. By the way, how rude of me. I forgot to say hello. This is Nick England. I'm Ira Thor. Third member of our crew is Noah Chest, and he stands by with a pregame report about the Chicago Untouchables.
Solid team so far into this season, the Chicago Untouchables, as you guys can hear me now. And they do have a lot of new players for this event, as you said, and they have a brand new head coach, that is Dave Dowser. So he spent 11 years at Lewis University, and he spent some time coaching in the PVL before that disbanded. He actually won a championship there in 2014. Now with his guys, he's only been in the gym with them for 2 practices, so he doesn't really know everything he has in terms of strengths and weaknesses quite yet, but he says what we can expect is they are a physical team. They're going to go up with players like Josh Blair, you just mentioned, Daniel Venegas, go up and be physical at the net, on their block, on their attack. one question he has is, are they cohesive yet? Are they a full, well-rounded team going up against a Stunners team that has a lot of history? That's yet to be seen. Guys?
Noah, thanks for that report. And, for me, I'm seeing these teams live for the first time. You, Noah, and your partner, Matt Prosser, who is also, of course, the head coach of the OC Stunners. We're here in Long Beach in our new digs here at Long Beach City College for the first event back in April. Like most of our fans, I was watching via social media, so it's nice to actually see these teams live. That first match of the day, the Inland Empire Matadors beginning to show us something that sometimes size doesn't matter,
right?
As they are finding ways to solve puzzles against good teams. They took down a Puerto Rico Pythons team that is athletic, but today still showing some of that newness that they have. And we'll see if we have any of that in this match. Again, a Chicago Untouchables team that's basically rebuilt from the ground up. When that happens, you're almost like an expansion team. Yeah,
and so it's one of those things. That's kind of what I look at, though, is across the league, I would say that the talent level this season has increased about 30% from where we were last year.
100%.
If not more. I mean, there's a lot of big guns that are going to be back at Event 3, as we always talk about. That's kind of that international threshold. A couple of these teams right around here are back. But that's going to be something we kind of grow into. But before we get too much into that, Noah Chass has got a little bit more for us from the sideline of the OC Stunners. Noah, take it away.
Team is extremely physical. Head coach Matt Prosser is aware of that. He said, I don't think we can out-physical this team with the roster we have right now, but they're going to try their best. They're going to lean on Tanner Woods, a new addition to this team who just came in. And he said for the key for them, if you can't be out-physical, you have to get solid passing and maybe play a little smarter, use some of that international experience they have on their squad. But they know this will be a tough, tall, physical team they're facing in the Untouchables.
Well, you talk about Tanner Woods, number 4. He is fresh off an NAIA championship win with Vanguard University in Orange County. He's one of those guys, knows a lot of these, he's been around the scene in Orange County. Everyone knows who he is. I played with him back at a local tournament along with Matt Hilling and several other of these guys. So they've played on the court before. So it's great to see as that collegiate season's ending, so too are these players slotting right in. I mean, as a pro league grows, that's the dream, right? We've got our eyes on what the up-and-coming talent looks like, and they're transitioning flawlessly and seamlessly into that next level. So excited to see what Tanner Woods, number 4, can get done here today.
The teams take to court, getting set for game number 1 here again. We are live at our brand new facility. Last couple years we were in San Bernardino, California. We have now moved nicely in here into Long Beach City College here in Long Beach, California. About 10 minutes from the beach. And taking the court for the OC Stunners, well, they got a lot of experience out there. Matt Hilling, number 18, of course, stand out last year. Nick West has owned the middle for a long time here. Shane Beamer, still to this day, I think you can say the Stunners have the best middle combination in the NVA, although maybe Las Vegas. And I'll give you some credit to the San Diego Wild. I have not seen them.
Matt Knigge.
I haven't seen him. Well, Knigge hasn't made his debut yet this year. In due time, Nick England. But Shane Beamer, Nick West here in the middle. And don't forget, potentially one of the biggest acquisitions that flew under the radar this year for the OC Stunners, the Monty Lenore coming over from the LA Blaze wearing number 11. He's on the right side. He's athletic, he is raw, he can do some exciting things out on the court. Meanwhile, as we take a look at the Chicago Untouchables in the white on the left side of the court, again, a team that is still finding its way playing together, but they have a victory on the season against an LA Blaze side. Take a look at Hank Payne, number 10 on the wing. He's been putting up some big numbers for Chicago so far.
Venegas wearing 6, Andrew Kohut in 22, Moises Lopez in the 1, Josh Blair in 24. And we'll see what the other middle is as well as we get underway.
So Shane Beamer with the ball in his hands as we are underway here in set number 1. And Josh Blair immediately puts it down. So serving here for Chicago is going to be Andrew Kohut, who was playing professionally in India most recently, the lefty. Matt Hilling couldn't get that one to go, and Venegas with the deep roll. It's going to fall in for the kill. Daniel Venegas, again, as Nick said, member of the New Jersey Freedom last year, was kind of the first outside off the bench, but came into some big moments, particularly in the playoffs. As New Jersey went 10-0 last year, first team to ever go unbeaten in the regular season, but was missing pieces in the playoffs and got knocked out in the semifinals. Venegas, a former member of the Colombian national team.
Just another one of those. We heard Noah covering last match just how many guys are here, you know, from different countries representing different teams. Just another one added to the list.
And that one, the attack is long. Server for OC is number 7, Logan Zodovic.
Zodovic played his ball at UCI. Randy Ramirez will be joining the team once again next event. But until then, you know, Logan Zodovic has been a wonderful local talent that the team has needed so desperately for some time.
And that's going to be set out of bounds. And the setting error ball goes over to the Stunners. And so Tanner Woods on the court, number 4. Biggest acquisition for the OC Stunners. They have themselves the ball down 1. That is off the block. Tool the block for the Chicago Untouchables, put away by Hank Payne. Just 24 years old out of Loyola, Chicago. First year in the NVA. And that sails long. Takes out the Tyrant's backstop.
Yeah. That's one of those things, you know, you see even just the NCAA tournament going on right now. You inject these guys all into a brand new gym, got a tall ceiling. It's going to take a couple points to really locate and see what how things are all shaping up for them on the service line.
They go to the outside. That's blocked back, covered by Chicago. And then, Blair just doing bad things.
Wow. I don't know if you saw there, Venegas went under the net, but as long as you're outside the antenna, you're okay to do so. Very good job, made a nice dexterous move. Did not get called there. I agree with our judgment there from the referee squad. But what a set by Moises Lopez.
Here's Josh Blair, multiple-time All-EIVA selection while playing for the St. Francis University side.
Oh, just gets the roll. He paid the toll. Blasts that one into the top tape, rolls it over the top, and gets the ace.
Blair, 6'6", out of Madison, Illinois. Gonna go outside. Tanner Woods couldn't get it to go down from the back row. Reach out and stuff someone. Tanner Woods read that one perfectly. And the Stunners with a side out.
And Ira, coming back onto the floor is their new libero, Enrique Barajas, another Chicago native. He went to Briarcliff University, and this is his first year in the NVA, so interesting to see how he will handle the service pressure of these teams like the Stunners. That is Enrique Barajas.
Nick West has always been a good server. Unleashes that one. And another big block, triple one here for the Stunners as Beamer, Lenore, and the new guy, Tanner Woods, with the exclamation mark early on.
Love to see that from Tanner Woods. Wastes no time gelling with the rest of the Stunners blockers. A well-formed triple there. And Daniel Venegas shut down twice in a row.
Big serve again from Nick West. The roll, that's blocked back by Woods. And then there's an exclamation mark in the middle for Chicago.
Well, I got to be honest. You talked a little bit about the the existing prowess in the middle from the Stunners, and I think that for a couple years, maybe the middles weren't as well developed throughout the league. And where we look at where we are now, there are just powerhouses across every single team, and Chicago is loaded.
Yeah, we're seeing that the Belair-Molesky combination certainly is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Probably one of the better combos in the league, as that is put away by Venegas. And Venegas now 32 years old. Will be 33 the weekend of our 4th event of the season. And Lopez, your server. Shane Beamer puts it away.
Beamer didn't want to be left out of the middle conversation there himself. Nice little 3-ball from Zodovic.
The Damani Lenore has come over from the LA Blaze, moved from middle to the right side, which is probably his more natural position as that one sails away.
Yeah, Lenore played right side for Cal State Northridge during his collegiate days, so that was his big thing during the offseason. He was looking at a team that was willing to give him some reps at the right side. He was soliciting the Stunners, Matadors, seeing what Blaze was willing to do, and he was even talking to me down in San Diego with SD Wild.
Good pass by Hilling off a tough serve from Venegas. And that's put away Tanner Woods again.
No Caldwell in the lineup today means that some other guys are going to have to step up and play their role, and Tanner Woods wasting no time.
(8-8) here in game number 1, our second match of 4 today. Good job by Chicago to keep it alive. In the middle, Molesky. No, that won't go down. So 3rd chance here for the Untouchables. And a useful spot. Well read there over the block on the tip by Andrew Kohut.
Kohut read that one so well. Hilling was already turning to open up. He saw it going high angle there, and Kohut dropped it right over his head, played into his blind spot a bit there. Excellent job.
Kohut, who played his collegiate ball at Belmont Abbey out of Naperville, Illinois, in the Chicago area. That's left short on the serve by Molesky. Here is Shane Beamer in a 9-9 game. Pass by Venegas, and that just ricochets down for the winner by Kohut as the guests take the lead. Chicago is the visiting team on the scoreboard in this match. Stunners, of course, the home team. And here is Kohut.
Kohut coming off a bit of a shoulder injury. He's only had about 4 or 5 days worth of training that he was cleared.
Matt Hilling with the killing.
Wow. That just showcases you give someone a ball on the block, just too much line, Matt Hilling going to take advantage. Just because most of these guys are swinging high, deep hands doesn't mean they can't absolutely thump a ball.
Almost looked like he was in warm-up lines.
Seriously.
So Zodovic back to serve. Even at 10, and Josh Blair gets another.
Middle's just throwing haymakers from the side of the Chicago Untouchables. If they're able to maintain this level of passing, this is going to be an absolute problem for the OC Stunners. So they've either got to start warming up that service pressure or see if they can get Chicago Untouchables out of system.
Well, that's what it's got to be right now, is the service pressure, because passing's not been as crisp as it has been as that sails long. The middles can't get activated.
All I know is both these teams are hoping no one gets as warmed up as Cesar Medina was this morning in that Matadors match. Statted 7 aces to complement his 17 kills, earning him player of the match.
Hilling takes something off of that. They go outside here. Venegas just misses. I think he thought it was in.
Certainly close.
But they're not going to question it. Remember, we do have a challenge system. And it's been enhanced a little bit from last year. Matt Hilling now his team up 1. Free ball opportunity, nothing that Nick West could swing at, but he will leave it for somebody who can. Damani Lenore hits that so hard he blows himself off the court.
I'm getting some intel from reliable sources that last swing was in fact in by about a foot. So maybe that's one person's take, but it looked like a good swing to me, and they're seeing the same. Wow.
Great save by the Stunners. Lenore will have to dump this over. They could go to Blair. Woods was waiting for that one and Venegas swinging away. Drops it in front of Hilling for the winner.
Woods got lucky there. He netted on that one ball. I had a front row view of that one, and he definitely caught the net going up and over, but no call means no point, so you keep playing it out.
Would you like to talk about this anonymous source?
Nope, not here to sell out any names. Just, you know.
We all need a good anonymous source to do this job well. There's Nick West getting involved for the first time today. Nick West, been probably one of the most reliable players in the history of the NVA.
I would agree with that. I mean, that's a pretty bold statement, and no part of me is saying that sounds off base.
If you were going to do a Mount Rushmore in the history of this league so far,
yeah,
I'm not saying he'd be the George Washington, but he's high on that list.
Yeah, he certainly is.
And getting the touch, Molesky with the winner.
If my math is right, that's kill number 5 for the middles from Chicago. I mean, they're putting on a clinic right now. That they're just saying, hey, if we pass the ball 8 feet or closer to the net, here comes the middle.
I trust your math because you went to a better school than I did.
Yeah, well,
here's Lenore.
I think that's undue credit, but I'll appreciate it all the same.
Dumped deep, saved by Chicago. And Kohut got the touch to get the result. And the Untouchables are staying tight here in game number 1. And at 15-14, we will take a, or are we going to have a challenge here?
No, it's the media timeout.
We are going to go to our technical timeout. Look for
No.
a second like they were going, well.
It's split. There was a little miscommunication on the score here, but we're getting it all
Before
resolved.
we officially go to a break, we will make sure that we know that this is not a challenge. No, they're taking the court. I think they got crossed up a little bit there. All right, so Elvin Otley, our down official, has everybody retake the floor. Rebecca Johannes is our R1 for this match. Woods is blocked back. Hilling's going to give it to Woods again, and he gets the angle. Cannot be preserved by Barajas, and now with the Stunners leading 15-14, now we will take our technical timeout here in Game 1. Rejoin us shortly for more here in Long Beach, California. We're back here in Long Beach, California after the technical timeout. Damani Lenore with a service line violation.
This was something we talked about, after this morning. I was saying, Damani, he's more than capable of being that physical kill provider, but sometimes lacks a little bit of those finesse things. We saw a down ball go down next to him. Now he's got that service line error.
Venegas with the rifle out of bounds as well. So they're starting to try to get the service pressure, right? That's something that we talked about. You see the teams trying to put that on now, knowing that you want to keep the middles out of this match.
A big part of that service pressure is in the court, though.
Tanner Woods.
Like I said, over the net, in the court, Ira.
It's 3 service errors in a row. We missed those. Haven't seen those in a while. All right. Here's Molesky. That's 4 in a row as these teams trading service errors, and the lead now is even again, 16-16.
17-16 here.
I was a little slow in putting the score
Yeah,
up
that
there.
was a little. They got you on the scoreboard there.
I'm gonna throw our table staff under the bus on that one. Jane Beamer on the serve. The jump float. That's stuffed down. It's going to hit the court. Yeah, Chicago finds themselves have given away 3 in a row. And it'll be Beamer serving 18-16 stunners.
Nice job by Zodovic to get up there and really control the net well. Obviously, always a plus to have Nick West next to you, but Zodovic not giving any free resets there.
That was Hank Payne, by the way, who got blocked as Beamer serves it right back at Payne. They go right side. Oh, and there's an answer with authority by Andrew Kohut.
Kohut being able to come to the right side and get Molesky back into the middle, proving just to be a massive upgrade for this team.
So here is Andrew Kohut, your server. Good pass by Woods. They go to Matt Hilling, reach out and stuff someone. There's an answer from Joshua Blair, who had help there with the blocking from Moises Lopez, their setter.
Moises doing a nice job so far, keeping a consistent offense, very well spread, and I love that he's honing on his middles early. It's going to open up the rest of his offense as this match progresses.
The lefty Kohut, Woods couldn't pull the arm back. Got caught for the ace, and Chicago has its first lead this late in the set, 19-18.
Tanner Woods, a little bit of a double pump fake there. Was that going in or was it going out? Threw a hand late.
Kohut had great numbers, as you would imagine, at Belmont Abbey. Hilling, that's going to find the court. Kohut in his senior season in 2022 at Belmont Abbey had a career high 21 kills 2 different times. So he's certainly capable of putting up some big numbers. Zodovic, your server. Blair a little bit early on that one, but stayed with it and got it to go.
It's hard. It's amazing to even say he was early or late. I can't tell because he is so high in the air. Moises Lopez is just throwing a ball into space, and he just goes and gets it. Absolutely incredible.
Daniel Venegas motioning to the officials. I believe that they were going to go to the bench and bring in a substitute here.
They were, but what's important to note, and I think that's kind of one of those stumbling blocks as you get ready for the league, a sub is not called for. A sub enters the substitution zone and it is then respected by the referee. So calling for one prior to the whistle of no value. Unfortunately, this just proving to be why they wanted a serving substitution there. So good coaching call, not quite the execution they were hoping for, but like I said, brand new coach, a little bit of getting up to speed with how things are running in the NVA.
I tell you what, though, the Untouchables, as that is unleashed for an ace by Matt Hilling. And the Stunners right back in front, 21-20. Dave Dowser, the new head coach for Chicago, is going to call a timeout. But, again, Chicago's been completely rebuilt. Dave Dowser, now the brand new head coach. Jonathan Dackelson, so experienced from 2 different clubs in the NVA, the formerly with the Dallas Tornadoes and then the Colorado Kraken, but bringing that experience in that GM spot, who knows how to run an organization.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're really seeing here. It's a top to bottom, complete overhaul of this roster, and it's working right now. We're seeing a lot of great pieces, and it looks like the things that are going down against Chicago right now are very well-earned points. I don't think that, this morning with Puerto Rico, we were seeing some things that made us wonder, is there just some desync issues? Are they not firing on the same cylinders, the same page? Chicago, that doesn't seem to be the case. It's just OC Stunners playing OC Stunner ball, earning great points, and that's, I think for me, as a fan of the league, that's what has me most excited, because Chicago's really showcasing that they finally have a nice core group of guys that have a variety of weapons, and they're just in sync.
And Chicago, of course, one of those markets in the NBA that is so rich in volleyball. There's so much talent in that part of the country. And to see players from the Illinois area, the Chicago area, having a chance to be effective and be part of a professional league in this country, You know, Chicago's certainly going to be one of those franchises that's going to be a cornerstone of the NVA.
We got a blocking sub coming in, Ramon Matos coming in. They have no setter on the court with Moises Lopez off. This is a one-time substitution to help key on the fact that they want no setter front row with Moises. It is likely that Kohut will take second ball from the back row, but they're figuring that all out right now.
Good pass by the Stunners, and Nick West got it to go, gets the touch.
That substitution being undone. For anyone unfamiliar, the international rule is 1 in, 1 out, meaning that Moises now cannot be subbed out if he would choose to return. It's not like youth or NCAA volleyball where you can keep subbing in and out, back and forth. That means Ramon Matos is now also out for the rest of the match, a no longer usable sub, and that is 2 of 6 substitutions available to Chicago for this set.
Nick West, going to be a free ball. And they're saying the Stunners over the net.
Very interesting. Moises Lopez getting a bailout there because he's front row. He gets first chance to play that ball. Basically, if any part of the ball is over the plane of the net, it's fair game. So they're saying that that ball was completely on Moises' side. Didn't have a great view, but it's not challengeable, so the call will stand.
Shane Beamer didn't agree with that, and then Damani Lenore able to draw Chicago into the net. And even though he got blocked there, it doesn't matter. Side out to the Stunners. They have a 23-22 lead. Lenore, your server. Free ball opportunity. Oh, Shane Beamer destroys it. And he gets his redemption.
24-22, 2-point lead here. Stunners turning it on late. And that is exactly the threat that we talked about, the experience of this team.
So Chicago will use its final timeout here in game number 1. You can't give a free ball in a moment like that and expect to ever escape.
Yeah, it certainly can't. And at the end of the day, you know, it's one of the hardest things to do, but it's the easiest things to talk about. Right now, Chicago is only out of this game really because of their serve receive. I think their serve receive's been a little shaky. They're kind of all or nothing right now. It's either a perfect pass they can run a middle, or it feels like they're getting really tight passes. They're going over, and they're putting it on Stunner's side. And frankly, with Moises Lopez as one of the smallest setters in the league, that is not the setter to be overpassing balls and making them play on the net. We saw some fantastic moves there to save that last one, but you're not doing him any favors with that pass.
Not at all. And now the ball in the hands of Damani Lenore. 2 set points to work with. Was there a touch? There was. So Chicago able to stave off 1 set point.
And that's where we saw that nice adjustment from the side of Chicago. A little bit of a safer pass. Maybe not a perfect pass, but a good one all the same.
Venegas with the serve. Set point number 2 belongs to the OC Stunners as Shane Beamer puts it down. And the Stunners hold off Chicago 25-23. We'll take a break and come back for game number 2 live here in Long Beach. And we're back here in Long Beach. We'll send it over to Noah Chast. He's standing by with head coach Matt Prosser.
Thanks, Iro. And Matt, you said this team was going to be physical, and they certainly were, attacking through the middle a lot earlier in that set. How'd you like the response from your guys?
Yeah, I thought the response from my guys was great. They did run a lot of offense through the middle, and they were dynamic and explosive, but our guys made some good adjustments and reacted nicely. We kind of stayed the course, didn't overreact or anything like that, and at the end of that set, we were able to pull ahead when it really mattered, so it's good.
Your talented middles, Shane and Nick, sort of almost took it as a challenge, I felt like, and bounced a couple balls back at them. Is there something about being a middle and playing other explosive middles that motivates you?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. You hate getting the ball bounced on you, so you want to return the favor by bouncing it back on your opponent a couple times.
Well, your guys have certainly done that. I know you've done that in your career. Thank you, Coach. Wish you best of luck. All right, guys, back to you.
And Matt Prosser certainly knows a lot about bouncing balls on other teams throughout the course of his illustrious career, both playing at Long Beach State and on the AVP Tour.
A couple things I want to highlight really quick when we look at the blocking pressure. OC Stunners, 6 terminal blocks. Chicago Untouchables, only 2. Also, looking at the service pressure so far. Service errors on the side of the Stunners, they've had 4 errors to the 7 for the Chicago Untouchables. Chicago with 2 aces, Stunners to 1. So the ratio looking nearly identical. However, Chicago significantly more error prone right now. They have given away almost, with 7 points, over 35% of the game right there in service errors. If they're going to want to beat a team as disciplined as the Stunners, they're going to have to shore that up. But that's the main thing. We're also seeing that Stunners passing at a 67% clip to a 48% from Untouchables. I do want to see the Untouchables more willing to pass a good ball, not a great ball. Give them a 2. Let your setter see if Moises can better the ball. You've got 2 massive middles. You can run that push 1, that 3 ball in transition or out of serve receive on a not perfect pass. You're more than capable of that. So you just need your passers to keep the ball high on your side of the court. Stop trying for that perfect pass. The days where that is acceptable and reasonable are long gone. Do what you can with the ball that's served at you.
That's our first dose of England insights for this one, and Chicago serving first, but the Stunners, only 2 errors in all of game number 1. They had 1 block the time they were blocked and 1 traditional error, 61% as a team. They got 6 blocking points, as you mentioned, and that's a winning combination regardless of who you're playing. Lenore, his only rotation on the outside, he got shut down. Combo block there by Molesky and Andrew Kohut. And Chicago strikes first.
Libero Huiding struggling to get back to his feet a little bit after that serve reception. Find the cover there. But there was a lot of power coming down from that block.
Venegas, that's going to find the line. Daniel Venegas with the ace. And that's the 3rd for Chicago, having success behind the service line.
That's such a tough ball. That's coming inside that front row opposite as that outside passer there. Just going through all sorts of weird seams.
Hilling up for that one. He'll get the pass. Chicago going right side. Kohut. And he.
Man, I just look at this Chicago team, and there's so much experience. When you look at Kohut and Venegas on the court, that ball takes Moises Lopez out immediately. They knew who was going what, going where, and it was just something that in the past it felt like sometimes just a beast without a head that was steering the ship. And now it just feels so much more cohesive when you look at the side of the Chicago Untouchables.
And I'll tell you what, Daniel Venegas looks good. At times last year playing for New Jersey, and it might be because he wasn't out there all the time that he did look a little rusty on the court in certain moments. He looks refreshed. He looks rejuvenated, one of the older players in the league. Pancake it over, does Woods. Chance for Chicago. They go to Kohut with the roll. Lenore did a good job playing that one off balance. Well covered. Here's Lenore with the deep roll. And great pass by Venegas. And it looks like Lenore was the infraction there on the net. So,
well, I don't want to be a broken record, but that's a net violation from him. That's a free ball that landed at his feet. That's been a service error that he was over the line. Like, we're just seeing some of those mistakes that, like, you got to clean them up. You just can't make those errors.
Shane Beamer, a little bit off balance on that one. Chicago misread it, and Beamer gets credit for the kill. But Lenore, again, we mentioned this in the NVA Today pregame show, probably has the highest ceiling of any of these young athletic players in the league.
Yeah, the ceiling for growth, I agree the way you framed it. Maybe ceiling is hard to call, but ceiling for growth in terms of where he is now to where he could be, I think that you could not be more right, Ira. Excited to see how his growth continues.
Bounces off of Lenore's head and put away by Hank Payne. You think that struck his elbow?
I think it was his arm. I think he pulled his hands, and I think it his arm, but we'll see it in a second. Yeah, I think he pulled his hands thinking that was going to be a tip down. And
no, that's not touching anybody's hands. Nick West with another. That's his third kill in 3 swings. Doesn't get too many opportunities, but he doesn't miss when he does.
Yeah, if you're the side of the Stunners right now, the name of the game is how can I set my middles more?
Blair blocked back, but he covers his own rejection. And a good job tooling the block there, Andrew Kohut, off of Nick West.
Quick shout out to Blair. He got blocked on that 3 ball, landed, turned around and covered himself doing a little bit of a ballet dance spin move there and put them right in a great place to get Kohut involved on that D ball. So love to see the dexterity.
Lenore, and he couldn't stop his momentum, carried him into the net.
So that,
7-3 lead for Chicago.
Once again, I just look at the set there, and he's a high flyer. Zodovich and him got to get that one sorted out about where you want that ball, because he just long jumped 10 feet and landed under the net. So
yeah, he just couldn't stop his momentum despite the athleticism. Have to be able to control that. Nick West putting it away after a great save by Logan Zodovich on a ball that looked like it was going to be a free ball.
Oh yeah, he picked that one off. And again, that's where the intelligence, the experience, Nick West getting up there. He knew if Zodovich was going to save that ball, the only chance he had was to set Nick West. There's nowhere else that's going to go, but West gave him an option.
And then left short by Woods.
8-4, Untouchables coming back, letting Stunners kind of make some of the mistakes. I was highlighting between sets there how many points they were kind of leaving on the table for free, and so far they've been able to shore that up a bit.
Blair, again, second time that he's caught Woods. That ball that's tailing towards the line, Woods couldn't pull his arms back and subjects him to an ace.
It's one of those things that, we're starting to see it as the NVA develops more. You always hear about it with the NFL draft, things like that. Who's going to be an all-star QB at the collegiate level, but who can really transition into the pro level? And so I think some of these younger guys that we're seeing coming in this season, they might be an all-star, an NAIA, NCAA, D1, 2, 3, whatever it might be. But you start playing against the like of Nick West, Uchenna Ofoha, some of these middles and these guys, Matt Hilling, they've played all over the world for the better part of a decade. They've learned all sorts of tricks you didn't even know could happen on the volleyball court. And so that's one of those things. You're going to see some of these younger guys trying to figure that, acclimate to that level of play.
Rare service error from Nick West. And here's Moises Lopez. Led his team to a 58% hitting percentage in game number 1. They leave it for Shane Beamer, and he finds a useful spot. Chicago still with a 4-point lead. Stunners took the first set 25-23. And that's not coming back. Molesky turns and rips.
Said it before, the fact that Chicago's got Molesky and Kohut on the court feels like they are starting to really stockpile the weapons.
Molesky first year in the NVA out of UCLA. Free ball chance here for Chicago with a 5-point lead. Good pass by Woods, no! A little late reacting to that one.
Yeah,
Was Zaleski.
Zodovic still climbing onto his horse out of the saloon there, a little slow to get it moving.
Zodovic was the one slow responding to that one. Chicago will take advantage, and Venegas, who's a good server, with the tall, but he leaves it short there. Looked like he took his stride and he cut it short because he was close to that service line. So side out for the Stunners for Matt Hilling, who played in India with Kohut of Chicago. Tanner Woods dug up by Venegas. And finding the corner open, Chicago with the kill by Kohut.
That was impressive. The overpass, and all Molesky could do was throw his hands up to defend his face, and he was able to deflect the overpass, swing back, and bought them a little bit more time and a chance to rally that out.
Nick really enjoyed that, if you couldn't
Oh,
tell.
I loved every bit of it.
And that one's going to be in the upper deck. Damani Lenore cleaning it up.
One of my favorite phrases is just, put your helmet on. When tough stuff's going on, just guys that are willing to stick in there, and Molesky didn't shy away from it, just made a great play, and I just love seeing it be rewarded.
By the way, we haven't said his name yet, but that's because he's doing such an incredible job. Hui Dang at libero for the Stunners has just been crisp all day long. Nick West off a shoulder, won't stay in play, and a kill for the Stunners as they draw within 13-9.
Yeah, Ding is the only option here. Dylan Shigikawa not in attendance today, so I would expect to see him later on this weekend. Shigikawa has been having a phenomenal season. He was battling a thumb injury all last year, which kind of put him at about 80%. So
couldn't pass with his hands because of it. But Hank Payne can. And then he tools the block.
Payne doing a really nice job of working that block, and it just speaks to those roles on the team. Hank Payne not getting a lot of the offensive load, but if you're going to swing that offensively or that effectively and just in transition, man, he's putting up some great numbers, low error, high kill percentage.
Well, he had a good start to the year. First event of the season, he had 7 kills in the loss to the Tyrants. He had 16 kills at 47% with 4 blocks in the 3-2 win against the LA Blaze. So he's shown early on, Hank Payne has, that he can be productive. As we reach our tactical timeout in game number 2. Nick West and friends are trying to find a way to bounce back down 6. We'll be back for more. Back here in Long Beach, Ira Thor alongside Nick England and Noah Chast. Matt Prosser can't join us because, well, he's coaching the Stunners right now. As Joshua Blair barely got back onto the court in time. That'll come over on 1, and Blair is happy he's playing because he gets the kill.
Very astute play. It's a simple one, but it's the one you need to make. Venegas sees Blair has to go up short to take that overpass coming off the service line, or Kohut, sorry. And he just steps in. Venegas makes it easy instead of Kohut running all the way from the service line. Venegas covers it up, puts him right back in system on the overpass. Just effective, small things you love to see from a system.
Timeout, Stunners, to talk about, well, what they got to do to turn this around here in game 2. By the way, the athleticism of Josh Blair, realizing, oh, wait, they're about to serve, the timeout's over, leaped over his bench because he didn't have enough time to go around it, cleared it with plenty of space, and then immediately gets involved in the play.
Love to see it. Ideally, you don't have to do that, but being able to. It's a cool little pocket to keep in, trick to keep in the pocket.
I mean, I couldn't do that. I mean,
well, we also don't pay you to do that, Ira.
You pay me?
Yeah, I've heard that rumor.
Oh, interesting. So timeout, Chicago. Josh Blair now back on the court just in time.
First one out there.
First one in the gym, the last one to leave. So here's Kohut to serve. Big lead for Chicago, up 7, trying to even this match at 1-1. Better pass by Hilling. They leave it for Lenore down the line.
Great rip from Lenore, catching that last foot of the court. Virtually undefendable to go right into that corner of zone 5.
Payne got stuck in that pass. Ball's going to come over, but it's not brought back on the right side of the antenna. And Chicago with the side out.
That left through the antenna, and so it was not eligible to be brought back. That was the whole Chicago disagreement there. It's got to go out from the I'm always the worst at explaining this.
On the opposite side of it.
Yeah.
Chicago backs at Kohut. Gonna get it to go. Kohut actually couldn't take a full approach in that one and had enough gas. Give his team now an 8-point lead. Chicago's owned this set.
I think Kohut heard us talking about how impressive some of the right sides have been, and he decided, hey, let's give Chicago one, huh?
Dang with a good pass. Hilling from the back row by the 10-foot line, violation. And saw that one clear as day. Hilling frustrated with himself, but had probably about a half a step over that line. And Hilling's going to get a card.
Yellow card awarded, just a warning. He's been pretty vocal. I think he already was verbally warned once perhaps, but officiating crew want to keep that under wraps.
Lenore, and he commits the 10-foot line violation back to back. Just miscues here for the Stunners. Again, this is an experienced team. I know Lenore is the newest member of the squad, but this is a team that was in the finals last year, won the championship in 2021. Make some uncanny mistakes here as that's left short.
Kohut gets a nice dig. The set to him left a little short and inside, but again, he's a lefty. Able to adjust to that, but maybe not the ball he was hoping for and leaves it short in the net. Almost feels more like a sigh of relief than a moment of glory for the Stunners.
No, so again, the Stunners are a team that's been in the finals
every year for the last 3 years.
Because they were in the finals against Utah back in the COVID year in 2020 as well.
Yep.
They may not get even close this year with the amount of talent that's spread across the league. They're going to have to really put things together late when they get most of their talent back.
Yeah. I mean, again, you just got to get to that final weekend.
You do. And it's anybody's game. We saw that with New Jersey last year, 10-0, and didn't have all their pieces, and were lucky to even get out of the quarterfinals. That's blocked back off the net. Oh, what a great save by Blair. But they're saying that's 4 touches.
Yep. That one did not go.
Blair wants a replay. And Chicago, I think, is going to challenge whether there was a...
No, they're going to call a timeout here.
Well, they're up 7.
Yeah, so, again, I actually really like this timeout. More so, not that you're worried about losing a 7-point lead, but at this point, I would say this set is all but done. But the biggest thing is you do not want any form of momentum developed for the Stunners. So that's what they're putting a kibosh on. Let's get back on track here, and let's win this one by the expected amount, not letting Stunners run 2-3 more points.
And Nick, on that Stunners point, in the previous timeout by Matt Prosser, he looked at his team and he said, it's a similar problem that they've had in previous years, Ira, almost as you alluded to, that they're playing for themselves out there and they need to play for a team. They need to take this fight and this push they're getting from the Untouchables and bounce back as a collective. So even though this is an experienced team, their Achilles heel may have always been playing together and for one another, and that's something he's preaching at the end of this set, moving into the third.
Thanks for that, Noah. And here is Woods, your server. See if they can show us a little something at the end. That's a block back. Combo blocks, so they're playing together at the net. Run down by Woods and sent over. Third chance here for Chicago. Venegas, reach out and stuff someone. Nick West puts it away.
Well, you talk about playing for something more than yourself. Tanner Woods had to make quite a heroic move to pick that up out of middle back. That was impressive to say the least, so you love to see him airing that one out, giving his guys up front another chance and letting Nick West do what he does so well.
Tanner Woods again. Free ball opportunity, and Hilling misfires. Not too often you're going to have that much of a window and you hit it out of the house. And Hilling's lucky to pick up another card there.
Yeah, and I think another card would automatically become a red card, if I'm not mistaken, which would be an automatic point. Yep.
Josh Blair missed long.
Now is not the time to be missing the serves. Just make stunners earn their points here. Although one could argue, and I've heard, well, I'll get into a Princeton ideology I've heard before, right as we get after this point.
Here's Nick West. Off the tape. They go to Venegas, down the line with authority.
So I was mentioning a little bit, you don't want to miss the serve, make them earn their point. Alternatively, I've heard of some of the Princeton squads before believe in serving so hard and being willing to go with 12, 13 service aces so that some of those big opponents that they're trying to take down, they don't even get to play. You either, they score their own points against themselves or not. And
this will be another 4 touches on Chicago, but got to give credit there to Chicago covering that ball. The libero Enrique Barajas laying out. Covers a lot of ground.
Long story short, there's a certain line of thinking that says if you just don't let the other team create any sense of progression to play the game and you just do it by ace or error service, they can't get a rhythm. So we'll see if that might be a way to finish this out as well.
That one sent down, and they're saying it's going to be an attack error on Molesky.
Netted, and he confirmed it.
He did confirm it, correct.
They all argued it, but again, I talked about it during the first match of the day when there's a certain expected level of rapport that when you go to your coach and you tell him to challenge that or not, he confirmed with a head nod looking at the coach and said, hey, I netted.
The video is going to confirm it one way or another, so no reason to lie about it. Venegas tooling the block, so he gets the side out, pushes Chicago within 2 points of taking game 2.
See, this is still that concern, though. While they're up by 6 and it's a commanding lead, you see the Stunners earn a couple there. And if there's one thing we know about the Stunners, a little bit can go a long way. So
Matt Prosser is going to call second timeout here for the Stunners.
Like the timeout. See if you can break it down. Can you earn, again, before Chicago gets that last 2 points, can you earn 3? Can you earn 4? Can you maybe put together a little +1s on the back line, give your guys a chance to make some runs, and all of a sudden you're going into set 3 feeling very good about what situation you're in.
So as the teams get set to retake the court, just a reminder, this is the second 4 matches on tab here today at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 Eastern. And this will be particularly interest for those on the East Coast. The Philadelphia Founders will be taking on a very good Texas Tyrant squad. And then, of course, our marquee matchup of the day. Las Vegas Ramblers, last year's champions against Las Vegas Ramblers 2.0, the San Diego Wild.
Yep. Going to have several of the guys playing today, getting their run backs against their former team, so that'll be cool to see.
Las Vegas Ramblers and Las Vegas Ramblers Junior.
Hey. Don't call Vinny's squad the junior squad.
That's going to be a ball handling error there against Chicago. Rare error. To Lopez's benefit there, he didn't know if he was in the bleachers or not. He was about to back into that first row.
Right.
However, the Stunners within 4 since the timeout with Hilling serving. And he's certainly capable of going on a run. Answered by Molesky. And they have set point. So the officials called that out.
Yeah.
And Chicago is immediately going to challenge it.
The entire team for Chicago took a victory lap on that one. I don't think there was a lot of questions on their side. I didn't get a good look at it. It was certainly close. But I have a sense, once again, this will be pretty easy to call.
I mean, from where we are, we have the Mikasa banner that is blocking us, so can't really see that specific part of the line. Shout out to Mikasa.
All right, there we go. We get the confirmation ball will be called in. Easy call for Chicago there, and that's going to bring them into set point at 24-19. A great challenge.
Elvin Otley letting us know that we are indeed challenging whether it's in or out.
Oh, maybe I misread what I was being told. I can't hear particularly well, so maybe I misread what Alvin was telling me.
Well, I can't jump particularly well, so we all have our own deficiencies.
My lip reading was bad. I thought I wasn't being informed it was in. He was saying that was what was being challenged, which we're well aware of.
I have asked our officiating team to give me hand signals the rest of the weekend. 1, 2, 3, or 4. As long as they don't give me the New Jersey Turnpike salute, I'm good.
And there it is. Confirmation ball was in fact in. Point goes to Chicago Untouchables.
So the Untouchables celebrate the first challenge victory of the day. And by the way, because they were correct, they keep that challenge. They still have 3 to use before we get to a potential 5th set. And here is Grant Molesky serving for the set, 24-19 Untouchables. Too long.
Last one might have found the line. That one did not. But Shane Beamer now, he is facing an uphill battle of 4 set points to stave off. Otherwise, Chicago Untouchables will take this one and head into set number 3, even at 1 apiece.
Off the court and an ace. Shane Beamer keeping his team alive.
Shane Beamer's done a lot of work on his serve in the offseason, and someone that's always been a very scary server when it was in has done quite a bit of work to increase the frequency with which he's finding the court. Saw it there. Venegas not quite able to handle the heat, and that's going to warrant a timeout. Chicago Untouchables up still 24-21, but was once a 10-point lead, is now just 3.
So good timeout here by Chicago, making sure that most of these Stunners can't keep those momentum going. Try to ice them just a bit. And Matt Prosser talking specifically with Nick West and company. As you see the Stunners bench, Matt Hilling sitting alongside Logan Zadovich, their setter. There's Hank Payne for Chicago. Another rookie. So many rookies in the league this year.
And they are all making names for themselves, not wasting any time.
Be interesting to see if maybe we hand out a Rookie of the Year award this year for the first time. Shane Beamer, not a rookie.
Was that a question to me, or was that a
that was kind of
foreshadowing?
I was kind of hide the question in commentary. And Woods gets the deflection. He wants to be Rookie of the Year, and he draws his team within 2. I think we have a few in this match who certainly, if we hand out that hardware, would be up for the conversation.
I mean, you got several guys over on Chicago's side.
Blair and Molesky for sure. Maybe Kohut.
Yeah.
24-22. Negus able to handle that one. They leave it for Kohut. Oh, and then Zaleski, I'm saying Zodovic. Zodovic got crossed up there, and the same, well, Chicago got the Stunners challenged late. Stunners were able to fight back, but ultimately it is Chicago that holds on, and a very close ending to this second set, and we're even at 1 set apiece. So Chicago, we'll see if they can surprise the Stunners again in Game 3 when we return to Long Beach City College. With chess, he's joined by Dave Dowser, the head coach for the Chicago Untouchables.
All right, we're having a little bit of microphone errors there. We'll get it resolved in a second. But until we do, worth quickly noting that the Stunners, who were off to hot 6 blocks in that first set, we got back over. They only added 2 more that set. Chicago added only 2 themselves, but something that was really defining the pace of the game with the Stunners blocking wasn't as present there, and we saw some smarter swings from the side of Chicago Untouchables in set 2.
Yeah, they not only were they smarter, but they were also able to do a good job keeping Nick West, Shane Beamer off of the net, something they did not do well in Game 1, and those two made them pay. Oh, hey, guess breaking news. The microphone works again. We're going to send it back to No Chess, joined alongside Dave Dowser, head coach for Chicago.
Oh, thank you so much, Ira. Had to get a working microphone. We have one now, Dave Dowser. Welcome to the NVA, your first set win, but it almost escaped from you. What happened there?
We had a nice lead, and they started serving pretty well. We got a little tight, and we needed to settle down and just keep executing and play the game that got us a 9. I think we had maybe an 8-point lead at one point, but yeah, I'm just glad we settled down and pulled it out.
So what do you like from you guys? Obviously a really strong middle attack. What has impressed you so far?
I think we connect with the middles pretty well. Both of them had pretty big windows. We need to serve better. Right now we're pretty much living or dying by our serve, which is not unusual in the men's game. We just need to stay more focused and serve aggressive.
Best of luck, Coach. Appreciate it. Guys, back to you.
All right. Well, I'm not sure. We could not hear that coming through. Might still be having some technical difficulties. I couldn't hear it. I don't know if you could.
I'm sure it was a fine interview.
Yeah. Either way, it's great to see. One of the big things we talk about that's so hard with creating a league like this, it's not just finding the athletes. It's getting your officials trained up. It's getting support staff. It's getting athletic trainers. It's getting all of what an entire professional organization requires. It gets people that are understanding the role of a general manager, how to recruit, what are you looking at from international players, what are you looking at the collegiate scene. It's top to bottom team building.
It's finding some great broadcasters.
Well, I still haven't been able to find one to get me out of here. So in the meantime, everyone at home just gonna have to deal with me chatting it up. But great to see another great coach coming into the league. But with that, Shane Beamer, ball in hand, and we are back in action, set number 3.
Now, Beamer, good serve to start us off here. Taking that one off of the net, we're the Untouchables. Chicago keeps getting chances. Looked like it's going to be an over ball and smart spot, but long.
That one was long, but they got away with a call there. Moises Lopez caught the net on the way up, and it's still bouncing around right now. So I watched that one happen live.
That may have been a challenge should Chicago have won that point, but Kohut with the deep push missed just long as they clean up some of the spillage on the court.
Certainly, Stunners are glad they don't have to challenge that, because you don't want to challenge at 1-0 to get a point that you feel confident you should have had.
I'm saying we haven't seen the towels come out for sweating the court too much. You know, last year playing in the Inland Empire, as that put away for a kill, it was often 100 or so degrees outside, and it was hot in the building as well. Now closer to the coast, not only is it easier for the fans to access, and significantly closer to LAX for those of us coming from the other side of the country, it's only in the 70s. In fact, it was raining this morning and cool here in Long Beach. So you're not going to see a lot of those interruptions. Dang does a good job to preserve that, the libero. A broken play, miscommunication, going to sail long.
Well, that was just a tale of both teams determined to see who wanted that less. My goodness, both teams struggling to put something together there.
Matt Prosser and Elvin Otley, the R2, having an official, or having a conversation about that last call. I think Matt was questioning a touch. Kohut on the attack for Chicago. They leave it for Damani Lenore. And Chicago with the carry. So Lenore does not swing away. And Chicago could not adjust. 3-1 early lead for the Stunners. And Chicago's 1-1 on the year. They lost 3-0 to the Texas Tyrants. And then they came back and beat the LA Blaze with a reverse sweep, as that's long by Kohut. Last time out, April 9th, Chicago lost the first two sets to LA, 25-23, 25-22. And then they bounced back in a really close match to beat LA 25-23, 26-24, and 15-12. Chicago is in the National Central. They're currently in second place.
Whoa.
And nearly decapitating the OC Stunner setter. Hank Payne with the winner.
So Zodovich definitely glad that only caught him in the chest, because that had some pace on it.
The Stunners 1-1 on the year. They beat Puerto Rico in 5 sets, 15-12 in the 5th set, the April 7th debut for Puerto Rico, and then lost to New Jersey 3-1. That's going to find its way. Kohut couldn't take a full approach. He was too close to the 10-foot line.
Gotta say, I haven't seen Kohut play before, admittedly, but every now and then we're seeing what just looks like missed cues, like they're not quite on the same page, and he's still swinging ridiculously effectively. Once they get that all ironed out, this guy's going to be an absolute menace.
Wood's doing a good job laying out for that one, Healing. And that's going to be a free ball over chance here for the Stunners. Damani Lenore slips it through.
Oh, God, that's got to be a dig right there. That's some great touches on the block from Chicago. You'd really like to see the libero grab that one and just be able to keep it alive.
Here's Matt Hilling. And a useful spot there on the tip by Hank.
That was impressive, to say the least. That ball was barely 6 inches off the tape. To see the body control not to go flying into the net there, fantastic move.
So here is Hank Payne. Nick West, first chance to swing in this set. Does not get it to go, but Josh Blair burning holes in the court.
Wow, you talk about the mini game that we heard Matt Prosser talking about. Middle's not wanting to be outdone. Blair able to get the soft block to slow West down, and then just unloads on the return shot.
Good pass by Dang. Damani Lenore. Venegas going to swing at that one, and Hilling comes over to defend it. And then a smart job. Nick West coming over. And he closes that play off.
Good up by Matt Hilling there to keep that ball off the floor, but Nick West even better, really making sure to just defend his side of the court.
1 point lead for the Stunners. 6-5 here in game 3 in Long Beach. Nick West going to be tight. And Woods capitalizing on the free ball. Tanner Woods on the overpass, puts it down. He's been an excellent addition to this team. Obviously, they are still missing so many pieces. Corey Chambers from last year, Cody Caldwell, who had a tremendous debut for the Stunners. Blair that time for the first time missed fires. We haven't even, by the way, said Eddie Mashikian's name yet, who came over from the Orlando Southern Exposure, where he was a veteran player, gives this squad some veteran presence. He's out there on the sideline if needed. Josh Nels, our boy, is also available if needed. So Stunners have a deep bench.
Oh my goodness.
But
that
not enough
point
to
of
shut
contact.
down Blair.
Wow. He is just dang near at the top of the pin hitting that ball.
Blair is a high flyer.
Oh, yeah. We lost Damani in the middle, that sense of offensive prowess, and we got Blair instead now.
Another good pass by Dang. And then buried in the middle of the court, Tanner Woods.
Shane Beamer doing a nice job there, opening that up. No blocker there. He pulls Molesky and just leaves Moises Lopez all alone against Tanner Woods.
5th kill for Tanner Woods. 3-point lead for the Stunners. And Molesky caught Beamer there for the kill.
Once again, a willingness from Moises Lopez to set the middles, feed them from off the net. And the more comfortable a setter is doing that, the more successful that team's offense will be, because he's got to keep Shane Beamer at home and just continuing to effectively score.
And that is an ace. Tanner Woods backed away from that one, and I think he just lost track of where he was.
Yeah, I think it was like looking like it was moving a little bit more pace. He thought it was just going to trail out. That ball was in by 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah. It's going to be a mistake you're not going to see too often at this level. Chicago within 1. Dang, going to put this nice and high for Woods. And he can't get it to go, and Chicago roars back. I mean, we're tied at 9.
Stunners needs to make sure they're not compounding errors, having a couple issues right now. But
well, compounding the errors they have. Back set to Lenore. And is that going to be a 10-foot line violation? It is. And second one today on Lenore, 3rd on the Stunners.
so that would be directly what I was saying of not compounding errors. 3rd one in a row. And, you know, relatively unforced, to be honest.
Compounding interest would make you a rich man. Compounding error is going to cause you to lose this match. And Tanner Woods finally breaks that streak for Chicago, tooling the block. His 6th kill. So a 10-10 game now, anybody's set. Dang, able to cover that. Matt Hilling tooling the block. Just turns and rips.
A lot of pace on that. I like the look for the Bick there from Chicago, but I think that when you got Molesky front row right now, I don't think it's time to try anything new. Just give it to Molesky. Let him do what he's been doing all match long. But
better pass there by Payne. They leave it for Venegas. Off the chest of Dang.
wow, what a swing. Venegas really went shoulder down, extended high through that ball, and a one-on-one block on him against Hilling, and took full advantage. The fact that he went line with that is impressive.
Okay, Venegas might be 33 years old. He can still play. Right?
Oh,
He's certainly got a lot left in the tank as he serves that one away. Hilling again. Good angle. And Barajas couldn't save it for Chicago. Kohut, did he get a touch? Chicago seems to believe so.
I thought he got him.
I did as well, and the officials say no. Will they look at it? And, yep, immediately head coach Dave Dowser points to review. Chicago's already won once today.
An important note, while challenges are occurring, since they are not timeouts, athletes are not allowed to leave the court, so that's something that's always talked about. So you'll see how everyone chooses to game that by, current guys on the court, other bench guys coming up to the edge of the court, trying to use every time that they can. Matt Hilling, very high-level IQ, that he pulled hands on that, so he was selling that he didn't touch it, but I'm curious what our sleuth on the sideline, Noah, might be snuffing out.
Well, they're not exactly giving it away like some teams do with full admission. They're more keeping it to themselves with a to their smile and a little bit of chuckle. So I think there is going to be a touch called over here on the Stunners, but they're not giving me really anything solid to work with quite yet.
Yeah, I would say pretty confidently I saw a decent change in direction and a ricochet. So we'll see. But again, that's where if the team, they're having a very frank conversation over there. If Hilling said, I touched it, they're talking about how are we going to come back, how are we going to play this side-out point here. But interested to see. And we're getting that look. Yep, that's going to be a touch deflection. No surprises there. You can look at the Stunners' faces. No one reacted. Everyone was well aware what that call was about to be. So, again, that's that level of responsibility of the team management.
But you don't say anything if you're the Stunners in case it's not caught on video.
You don't say a dang word.
Just walk around with that smirk in your face like I do at home. My wife questioning, well, why has he got a smirk in his face?
It's because he ate the last cookie, Ira. She knows it. And you're about to blame Kendra, too.
I've done that multiple times.
I know. I can only imagine what you put through the Thor kids through.
Well, one of them's away at college, so I can't blame him.
Well,
most of the time.
I was going to say, there's still 3 months out of summer.
That's blocked down Nick West. Able to get the rejection. Listen, do you know how much it costs to feed a 6'5", 225-pound college sophomore?
Yeah.
I need a second job. Oh, wait, I got one. I'm with you guys.
Yeah. Well aware. That's what I feed at home for myself.
That's before Ollie even comes into the equation. Blocked back by Hilling and West. Good defense by Chicago to pick it up. With the roll, it's run down by Zadovic. Oh, then Damani Lenore destroys it down the line.
What a set by Hui Deng. And that's going to be a timeout for Chicago Untouchables. Now down by 3, feeling like they're losing a bit of the handle, and they didn't want to wait for sorry, that's a media timeout.
Let's take a break, and we'll come back and enjoy some more volleyball here in Long Beach after this. Back here at courtside in Long Beach, California, Ira Thor, Nick England, Noah Chast. In a 1-1 match, and the OC Stunners had the ball in their hands, trying to build upon a 3-point lead. They are 1-1 on the season. Two teams that have shown some vulnerability earlier this year, but also shown the ability to play virtually anybody. Couple blockbacks here by the Stunners, and a great job by Chicago to cover. And now the Stunner block starting to get involved. Payne with the big dig. Zudovic able to keep that one going, and then Hilling left it short. great rally all the way around. At some point, there was going to be a mistake to be had.
Yeah, and again, I always talk about it because everyone expects doubles to get called, and really they're not going to get called. The direction of the league is why stop high-level play? What an amazing rally. The worst way to end that would be calling a double on that ball. Let them play it out. So in case you're curious at home why that didn't expect it anytime soon.
Great serve. Hilling was up for it. Lenore misses long. Matt Prosser coming over to question Elvin Ali. If for them to call double at this level, it's going to have to be completely egregious.
Yeah. Little discussion there. They were saying that there was a net.
Nick West saying, no net, let's play on. 15-13. Score is correct. Ball in the hands of Kohut.
14-15, nicely done out of the timeout by the Chicago Untouchables, closing that gap down to just 1 from what was 3.
Yep, they didn't add that extra point, so it is now a 1-point game. Now Kohut goes southpaw swinging away. Nick West gets the result. So now Nick West has 6 kills in 8 swings.
That serve is left long. Hilling might want that one back, but at the same time, he understands his role. He's already gotten an ace in this match. He knows how important it is to get that high-level serve going. And here's that serving, or the blocking substitution we talked about earlier. That's going to be bringing in number 5, Ramon Matos, for the side of the Chicago Untouchables. They have no setter on the court, so if they get past this first rotation, look to see who takes hands.
They're going to leave it here for Kohut. Dang can't run it down.
And there it is. You saw a discussion in the rally. They're basically a bunch of experienced guys saying, hey, we don't have a setter. We're going to figure it out live. And you just see an easy bump set, let Kohut go up and go after the ball. But that means that middle options are basically unavailable right now. Expect a high ball going to a pin.
The pass by Hilling. They go to Nick West, and he plants it in the middle of the court.
Well done by Nick West. A little wheel and deal as Zodovic coming across the middle, maintaining the much-needed 1-point buffer. And West will see if a little bit of something special from the service line can give them one more to create a nice cushion here. He's been cutting it back to zone 1, going after Payne so far in the match. See if that continues.
And we're all square at 17 apiece. So Josh Blair, the former Red Flash out of St. Francis, PA, now members of the Northeast Conference. They played in the EIVA during his collegiate time. And Shane Beamer delivers.
Man, Zodovic right there with the one-handed push set over to Beamer. Beamer, a very, very vertically gifted middle blocker, maybe a little undersized in stature, but wastes no time occupying some of the airspace up there.
Beamer, by the way, 6 for 6 on attack so far.
2 seasons ago, played in Denmark, was the MVP middle blocker over there. Most lethal middle in the league. So definitely one of those guys that's more than capable.
Lopez with the serve. Hilling's going to be able to preserve this one. And then Beamer dumps it. First time he doesn't have a kill today. And that one's not coming back. Andrew Kohut put Chicago in front. What was once a 4-point lead for the Stunners here in this third set.
Stunners getting after it a little bit right now. Didn't know what Hilling wanted with that free ball, whether it was Woods going after it on an inside ball, Beamer doing more. A little bit of the clashing of the heads right now, and not the time to have it happen.
And the Stunners going to call timeout. In danger, find themselves in a 2-1 deficit in this match. Noah Chast on the sideline. Going to offer some words of insight as these teams get set to take the court again. And we'll send it over to Noah.
Yeah, right. In that timeout, maybe Coach Hauser and the Chicago Untouchables, I don't want to say sensing blood in the water, but sensing an opportunity at their point. Their coach saying, hey, we had the momentum. Finish this out, and luck will be on our side, or momentum will be on our side against this team, but don't let this one slip through our grasp with a talented Stunners team.
Woods with the pass. They're going to leave it for Woods. Blocked back, but Lenore covering. Woods trying to see where he is and rips it on a sharp angle. Woods 3 in a row. Gets it to go. Useful spot on the tip.
Wow. Venegas tried to keep that one alive, but very, very well done by the side of the OC Stunners to maintain a sense of poise and composure there. Love the set selection from Zodovic, continuing to give Woods opportunities to succeed.
And left short by Woods. 20-19, Chicago in the lead.
Multiple missed serves in a row. The Stunners need to get the ball in the court and play the point.
Daniel Venegas, former New Jersey Freedom, nearly rips an ace. Dang, laying out with one arm to stab at it. And then Matt Hilling, the side out in the kill.
This is where Matt Hilling is his most terrifying. He's one of those guys that he just knows how to score points. I would not be surprised to see him getting a majority of the sets right now. Nick West front row, obviously a great option there, but Matt Hilling looking for the matchup too against Moises Lopez. Or apologies, he's against Kohut, but it doesn't change much for me.
They're going to leave it for Kohut, and he misses long. And the Stunners, 2 in a row to retake the 1-point lead. In a third set that might go the distance and beyond. Neither of these teams willing to yield any space. So Beamer. And that's long. Did he get a touch? They did.
Yep.
And Payne immediately reacted as if there was a touch, gets the call. And, well, all square 21, so now it's a race to 4.
Surprised by the lack of willingness to go to the middle there, but it worked out all the same.
Off of the shoulder of Hilling and back. Blair wanted it. Kohut gets it, and he clips the antenna.
No blockers up, just got to get it in the court. But again, Chicago kind of falling apart there. Little bit of a weird ball going short. Got to clean that up.
Just outwardly missed it. And they will leave it for their setter, Logan Zodovic. 1-point lead for the OC Stunners. Last year's NVA runner-up. Dang, perfect pass. And Matt Hilling sticks it through the block. And Chicago's going to want to talk it over down 2.
Well, that's just, that's those same kind of things we're talking about. Matt Hilling in high-pressure situations. He really knows how to accelerate the ball. And I think that we're seeing Blair a little too high on that block. He's talking about right now in the timeout with Untouchables. Just hands were too high over the net. You just got to seal that off and make Matt Hilling better the ball. But
well, this is also one of these moments where a veteran like a Matt Hilling, not only of the NVA but of professional volleyball, facing somebody like a Josh Blair who comes in out of college so high, and so ready for this moment. But in these late minutes, the experience of Hilling, knowing how to get kills, how to take advantage of whatever their opponent's giving. If Blair's going too high, Matt knows how to use it, and that's something that Blair still is going to need to adjust to, despite how good he's been so far.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that we're excited. That's so exciting for me about Untouchables. You see Blair so young, Molesky so young, Kohut so young. There's so much of a future built into this team already.
Josh Blair says, "I'm ready for the moment."
Oh my goodness. That was ridiculous.
Josh Blair annihilates it, leaves it for Kohut. Sorry, Josh, we'll never ever doubt you again.
Oh my gosh.
And that is left short. And now it goes over to the Stunners, 24-22. Couple set points to work with for Matt Hilling. And Chicago's going to utilize its final timeout.
I'm still stuck on that that swing. I mean,
Blair's got a cannon.
Cannons are one thing. To be that high and that straight down, he went absolutely just straight over the top of that block. That was insane.
I mean, Josh Blair put up some good numbers at St. Francis. 488 kills in his 4 seasons. Average better than 0.7 blocks per set at the collegiate level. That's a big number, 184 blocks in his career. And, you know, didn't play on a team that was a championship caliber team. So he's one of those guys that stood out from the rest.
Sure.
And opponents, knew to try to keep the ball away from him. Hilling for the set, 24-22. They're going to go back to Blair, and he gets it done again. College, you can keep it away from a guy. Professionally, well, unless you're serving a team off the court,
not so much.
No, setters know how to find their middles.
Now the big question is, we've seen Chicago struggle to block this match. Are they going to be able to get a stop here?
Set point number 2. And they cannot, as Woods gets the result, and 3 close sets so far. Ends with another 25-23 victory for the OC Stunners, and they lead the match 2-1. Game 3 in the books. Game 4 coming up next here in Long Beach when we return.
All right, we're back into the action here, about to get underway with set number 4. Before we do, we got a little bit of some of that sideline magic we're so accustomed to. We're going to throw it over to our man on the sideline, Noah Chast.
Thank you, Nick. And you can tell these stunners have been here before. And this is sort of par for the course for this team. Winning a first set, maybe dropping one they felt like they shouldn't by a large margin, and then coming back and winning a tough one. And it's all positive vibes over here on this side of the bench. They seem like this is just what they're used to doing. They're getting their libero Hui Ding, who's had a phenomenal match so far, making sure he's hydrated and got enough food in his stomach. On the Chicago side, you can see a little more urgency, a little more tenseness on them, knowing that was maybe one they should have taken, and they need to go and take this one. So maybe a different atmosphere in terms of both those benches, but both teams ready for an exciting set 4.
It's actually a pretty good idea. When this match is over, we should go get some food in our stomach.
Yeah, well, I'm doing a quick look across right now, and very interestingly, Chicago Untouchables making a move. Molesky back to the right side, Kohut off the court, Zachar Pasha back on the middle. So looks like they're probably going to be maintaining Zachar alongside, I would assume, Blair. So that means that Andrew Kohut, and again, I don't know if that's a personnel change or that his shoulder is hurting, but we'll get a little bit more insight on that. Like I said, he's fresh off of rehabbing a pretty serious shoulder injury, so workload is something to consider there, but we're back underway.
Zachar Pasha played for Texas during the 2021 season. Took last year off from the NVA before returning now for Chicago. Remember, they also have Will Ragland on the bench. He's not dressed today. Ragland, who was their top offensive player all of last season, and truly is the one he's the glue of this Chicago franchise. Whether he's on the court or not, he's that guy behind the scenes that made sure that this team was rebuilt the right way.
Yes. Will and I talked a lot during the offseason. Pretty stressful time when a team, there's a lot of competition to get a team built in Chicago right now, and so trying to find the right pieces. But Will, Noah Ricchetti, Moises Lopez, 3 guys that were determined to make sure this team was rebuilt the right way. And props to them, because I think they've done themselves very proud, and exciting to have a team out of Chicago that's really, I think, starting to trend upwards.
Ragland not available today. He's been battling a knee-type injury, lower leg injury that he's been, going to therapy on. Some days he feels great. Some days he doesn't feel like he's going to help the team out on the court. So if he's not available, he's gonna be honest about that with his coaching staff. And today he is just #1 Chicago fan on the sideline. As that in the Pure Sports Center where we played last year, that ball would have hit the moon. Here in Long Beach, this building's probably maybe 60, 70 years old, but it's perfect for the sport of volleyball. Big, high clearance, no chance of clipping the roof.
Not at all. And the floor was redone just the last year or two, so we are in optimal, conditions here.
Oh, the floor is great.
Yeah.
It's got that classic California look that a lot of colleges have these set designs for their courts, giving their own little bit of personality. Long Beach City College has a rich history of athletics here in Southern California.
We talk about Tanner Woods out here. Kyle Onema, who transferred to Vanguard, part of that championship team, was one of the outsides along with Woods up on the wall being memorialized here. That's cool to see for them as well.
A lot of ground covered there by Damani Lenore on what looked like a simple free ball just to place over.
You see Blair on the ground there was dodging the ball, I think. It's a great shot by our camera crew. Doing a great job today getting us up and running.
And the pictures, by the way, significantly better this year already in our first broadcast. We didn't broadcast the first event of the year, trying to get fans here in person. First broadcast, Nick and I, of this 2023 season.
Yep. Continuing to work on the infrastructure of the league, working on the production, working on a variety of things. New facility. The team's all continuing to really increase their product in the form of who they're putting on the court. And I gotta say, overwhelming success.
Pasha leaves that one short. First attempt for him to swing here today.
Yeah, that was a very missed connection there by Ricchetti. By Lopez. Tried to find him on the backside and just launched that one a little high.
So the Stunners down by 1, trying to win this in 4. And Hank Payne able to get the touch. As Payne picks up, that's now his 10th kill. He's the first player in double figures. Or correction, second player in double figures. Kohut actually got pulled with 14 kills.
for a little more insight on Kohut. Noah, what do you got?
Yeah, so I went over and talked to the Chicago Untouchable bench, and he said it's not injury-related per se, that labrum is still bothering him, but he said it's bothering him no more than usual, as a lift is going to be called on Damani Lenore on that play. So it's not really injury-related. Coach Dowser, geez, there we go, telling me that it's just more he wants to get a different looks from different lineups in there. And Kohut told me himself, yeah, it's not a lot of pain, but I'm not having the connection that I want to see, so he's fine with taking a step off and letting some other things try out.
Awesome. Great to hear. Thanks for the insight, Noah.
As Hilling missing that one wide of the antenna. Listen, that labrum injury, that could end careers. So that's not something you mess around with. I tore my labrum in college, never had surgery. It was never the same, though.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, you got to respect that. Right now, a little bit of a conversation going on there. The call was that it hit the antenna and then went off of Payne's arm. But Hilling is saying that he absolutely went off the arm of Payne. So big conversations right now, and Matt Hilling absolutely needs to be mindful of the way that he goes about this, because this is not going to go his way. But they're going to get a challenge called. I think this is a good challenge. I think that Stunners is going to win this one. The biggest thing right now is that they don't lose their cool. Keep playing together, and let Coach Prosser, manage the game state a little bit.
Well, they haven't used a challenge yet. They have 3 to work with here in this 4th set. If we go with 5th, you get a brand new one anyway. So they're challenging whether this was in or out. There's 4 things you can challenge in the NVA's challenge system: a touch, whether it's in or out, a net violation, or an attack line or antenna violation. So we'll take a look at this one. Chicago is 2 for 2 on challenges today. And the first one for the Stunners in this match. After today,
I thought they challenged one earlier on a back row. I don't know. It's all blurring together.
I think you're thinking of last season. Maybe it was 2021. I can't remember any challenges there for the Stunners. I also have some jet lag.
Yeah, it's all blurred together since I called this morning's match, and there was a ton of challenges getting called in that Pythons Matadors match. So maybe I'll just blur them together.
And the Pythons weren't able to slither out a win in that one, so they are 0-3 on the season.
Yeah. Chicago Untouchables needs this win, too, because when you consider the way that the format of the bracket, top 4 from each side go, there's a little bit more intricacies, but to keep it high level, the number 1 team from each conference goes, and then the number 1 team from each, and then the best 2 teams. Apologies. The number 1 team from each division goes, and then the top 2 teams combined left over from the remaining 4. So you could send one entire division. So when we've talked about how strong the Python Freedom Stunners division is, we kind of expect that Python's going to pick up those wins and maybe grab that 4th spot. But going down 0-3, if Chicago can come out, flash a win right here and go up 2-1, that might put them in a great spot for the LA Blaze team that's 0-2 as well. That might be putting Chicago as the clear favorite to pick up that 4th spot.
Yeah, because if you expect New Jersey to win the National Coastal, I think Texas Tyrants have already started running away with the National Central again. The Stunners, once they have all their pieces in place, they're going to be a playoff team in a good seeded spot. So whether it's the Pythons, the Blaze, or the Untouchables, Chicago's right now looking like they're the best of those remaining 3 teams.
Yeah, but they definitely do not want to.
And this will be a replay as, well, Matt Hilling, that ball was touched by Chicago, and they blew the whistle, so they have to do it over. And they are able to at least prevent Chicago from scoring a point there.
I don't know how this gets ruled as a, admittedly, I don't know how you rule this a replay.
Because of stoppage in play.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Because the ball hadn't touched the floor when the whistle blew. So I think they have to call a replay. Oh, now Matt is calling up and saying he wasn't challenging whether it was in or out. He was challenging a block touch. So this will be interesting. So challenging the in or out, they want a replay. If they challenge whether there was a touch and they lose that, does it supersede back to the in or out call.
I'll be honest, I'm a little turned around at this point. I'm just going to say that they're not all on the same page on the floor about what was being challenged. So Noah's going to hear exactly what got called versus what's overturned, and we're going to get some perfect information. And that's why you're here, Noah.
I don't know about perfect, Nick, but from what it sounds like is they initially challenged in and out, and they found during the replay that it did not go the side of the Stunners, but there was a block touch, called an inconclusive replay. But Coach Prosser is pleading, well, if there's a block touch off the Untouchables, it is our point, and that's what we're challenging. So it's unclear what the initial challenge was, and it seems like they're still being discussed. But the replay found it was off the block, so it should be Stunner's point based on how the play played out. But what the challenge call stood for
And
is the discussion.
replay will stand. Stunners are not happy about that one, but the nature of the beast doesn't always go your way, so learn when to just, get it back, get the train back on the tracks. Thanks, Noah.
I thought Noah was here because of his luscious hair.
A man of many talents. All that for a missed serve to follow it up immediately. Well,
If anything, they iced Chicago.
yep.
And 2-point lead for the Untouchables, Hilling your server. Then go to Josh Blair. Hilling there to read it. Great job there by Barajas laying out for the dig and blocked back. And reach out and stuff someone. Nick West teaming with Woods as they stuff it down the line.
2 swings in a row. Grant Molesky having to go from a middle speed attack line to the right side mid-match is definitely not easy.
Big spot two as they are within one. And a little redemption here for the former UCLA product as he tools the block.
Definitely a great program to be a part of, and heading back to another national championship title match where they'll play University of Hawaii.
And I think UCLA is the favorite there is Nick West, who knows a lot about one of those schools, puts it away.
Yep. Nick started his time at UC Irvine, was an anteater, and then transferred out to University of Hawaii.
Now the Rainbows somehow survive. Are they the Warriors now? I can't remember.
They're the Rainbow Warriors. Yeah.
Rainbow Warriors. Oh, they got both nicknames. But they are trying to win a third straight national championship. Had to fend off a Penn State squad that I've been high on for a long time. Penn State, Noah's alma mater, of course.
Yep.
They were built to win a title this year, but quite frankly, you could say that about 4 teams, really. Long Beach State, Matt Prosser's alma mater, getting beat by UCLA yesterday. So
Manhandled. That was a.
yeah, that was a foot to the throat of Long Beach by UCLA. So they got to be the team to beat, but not too far away. We have some quality volleyball here, both professionally and collegially. And Josh Blair never got a chance to play in a Final Four, but he's playing professionally now, and he's going to serve for Chicago after his kill. And Molesky, by the way, he played at UCLA from 2018 through 2021, was never a star there, but he was a productive player. Most productive season was as a sophomore in 2019 when he had 92 kills. And a miss hit there by Damani Lenore.
Those are the out-of-system swings that if you want to be a big-time right side, you need to be able to hit that ball on the court. At this level of play, opposites are the absolute trash collectors. They need to be able to put some pressure on the ball and didn't quite do it there. Blair leaves that one short. Tape wanted nothing to do with it. Still a 2-point lead for Chicago, but at one point they were at 4. So Stunners trying to battle back into this 4th set here. And Stunners is completely in control of this in the sense that they're up 2-1. So far better position to be in than Chicago, who's fighting for their life.
Good pass here by Venegas, but then a misfire by Zachar Pasha, who comes off the bench, and he looks cold so far.
Yeah, they're trying to get him started there, but man, just go to Venegas. He's giving you a nice tempo pass. He's going to give you probably a 1.5 blocker situation on the outside there just because it's passing over to zone 4. I just don't like that set selection, but
Lopez had to go a long way for that one. Venegas does a good job keeping it on the court. They leave it for Hilling, and dug up by Payne. Venegas, Lenore got the pancake going. And Hilling is dug up. Sent over. Lenore has the layout. Quality rally here. Venegas read it well. Dang, he goes for Hilling. And this time gets the final touch they needed. And we're even at 10.
Wow, great rally from both sides. Some pretty heroic digs. That first one from the side of the Chicago Untouchables, Hilling hit it down the back of a front row player, which was then picked up by the libero and sent over. Heads up play, but just simply too much firepower.
Enrique Barajas just played some great defense there for Chicago despite losing that point. Dang with the dig, gonna come over after the attack by Venegas. Oh, and then Shane Beamer.
Middle.
He will rarely ever make that mistake.
Wow, both middles determined to make each other look better. A free ball overpass on a gimme ball from Zachar Pasha for Shane Beamer just to leave it short in the net.
Shane Beamer's an all-star in this league. That is not an error you will see from him very often. And he almost got blocked a second time there. Here's Molesky. And campfire for him. Right in the middle of the court. It's hard to break through at a school like UCLA and be a star. So the fact that he was a productive player there bodes well for his opportunity here at the next level.
Absolutely, and showcasing a little bit of that experience still to know you don't need to keep attacking into center's hands. Their blocking is so sound, so fundamentally experienced and clean. Just that off-speed shot get everyone really aggravated when they don't pick it up in the back row. Arguably worth more than just 1 point. When you get them all fired up, right now you're wondering if Matt Hilling might get a little, might snap at something and gets that red card.
That's a 1 point lead for Chicago with Beamer serving. Molesky with the opposite hand there. And that's put away by Daniel Venegas, his one rotation out of the right side. Well,
Untouchables never say die, Ira. They're just finding little ways to just scrap it back in.
Well, you must be reading my mind because I was doing some homework on Molesky, and in his younger days played for the Adversity Volleyball Club, and that is exactly what Chicago is doing right now. They are dealing with adversity, but Matt Hilling with a crucial side out there.
Man, that is absolutely the point in a system where I feel so bad for teams that don't get to train against Matt Hilling regularly, because that's where he thrives. He barely jumped off the ground and just banged that one off the side of the hands there. You just got to play against him and with him a lot to know what he's going to do there, and some of these younger players haven't seen that before.
Ludovic with the serve. Molesky, this one's coming upstairs.
Sending a little hello note to our production team, sending that one into Studio City there.
I hope they were paying attention.
I hope so. They've got quite the setup going on there, but big swing from Molesky. Nice exclamation point.
That is a quantum swing by Molesky. 2 point lead for Chicago, and Hilling with the answer. Matt Hilling, he is well into double figures in kills now as he serves short.
Untimely error after a couple great kills in the front row rotation, but that's going to bring us to the media timeout at 15-13, a small break while these teams talk about what it's going to take set number 4 and see if we're done here early or if we're going to go the distance to 5 sets.
Back here courtside, Ira Thor, Nick England, Noah Chest, OC Stunner, Chicago Untouchables. In the fourth set where Chicago trying to push this the distance. They have a 2-point lead. And the Philadelphia Founders, the Texas Tyrants, they're here in attendance because they play next at 4 p.m. Pacific. Chicago, I should say, Philadelphia looking for its first ever victory as an expansion team.
And man, that's a tough match to find it in.
They in Puerto Rico very much could be 0-3, where the San Diego Wild still unbeaten. Too long. I don't think there was a touch there. Chicago says yes. And I think Chicago is going to challenge this one. Usually I agree when players are that adamant, but I watched that play. I didn't see a touch.
I thought he missed that by like almost a foot. I'm going to be wrong and eat my words. They're very, very confident in that, but Ira, I did not see that even close to the hands.
So they are challenging a touch, but yeah, I think Chicago's going to lose this one in my eyes. They've been 2 for 2 so far today, so they've had success.
Well, Ira or Noah maybe getting the detective hat on to see if he's got a little bit of news for us. We're going to get some feedback here in just a moment.
Yeah, this Stunners team does not hide a lot too well, and they say, no way, no one on this team touched it. So they, quote, say the Untouchables are grasping for straws here, to quote some of the players in the Stunners huddle.
That aligns with kind of what I saw. That looked like he launched that. I didn't see any spin trajectory changes, nothing like that. That one
nothing at all.
Pretty cut and dry of
only thing
out the back line.
Only thing between the ball and the hands was oxygen.
I mean, when you've been around it enough, you start to look at the contact and stuff like that. I've played enough outside hitter to know that I heard the sound that tells me that ball is gone and not what you wanted. So that was not any like, oh yeah, I'm going high hands here. That was not miscontact. But yeah. I'm talking about all this and just watch for a touch. But I don't think we're going to see one.
Unless there's a Stunners player that's being uncharacteristically quiet. But they all seem pretty adamant and confident that no way, Jose, no touch here.
There's no such thing as a quiet Stunner player.
It's an oxymoron.
Well, Chicago Untouchables looking for a touch. That's the basis for their name, perhaps.
Do they get the straws, or are they just grasping?
And are the straws plastic or paper?
And that's going to be a point for the Stunners.
Looks like they're paper. It's going over to the Stunners, and they will cut it to one. By the way, paper straws are disgusting.
I don't know how we ended up there on that pivot, but Ira, I will go there with you. I too hate paper straws.
All right, we have voted to vote out paper straws, but we have a quality fourth set going on. No more grasping, only passing. They're going to leave it here for Payne. Woods, who's in double figures in kills, and this will be freed over. Lenore alertly comes for it. Woods run down by Barajas, who's done a good job as libero today. Oh, Joshua Blair with a hole in the earth.
What? Oh, that's the moment we live for. Moises Lopez on the connection, gap set to the 3-ball. Woo.
And if Chicago comes back to win this match, well, there's no question that Joshua Blair is your man of the match.
Wow.
That is left short into the net, dug out, and dumped over by Beamer. And Blair hung in the air. The set was over his head and still stuck in the back of the court. Man, what a pro couple debuts here for Blair. He is special. And timeout OC Stunners. Joshua Blair can jump over benches. Might be able to jump over the moon because he hung there and allowed his setter Lopez to save it and give him something to attack, and he paid him off.
That was ridiculous. I was already impressed with the last one where he attacked zone 1 during set 3, but man, oh man, that was clinical.
I think we're in agreement here that Blair's the guy to watch out for this Chicago team.
I mean, they got a lot. When Kohut's healthy, you get Molesky in there too. He's certainly the flashiest. That team, I'm telling you, man, they are definitely one that's got a lot of room to grow. When they clean up that little bit of kind of the out-of-system slop, I think that they've had a lot of, I'd like to see a little more production from the libero jersey. There's been a lot of balls that I think that a lot of other liberos are picking up right now, and I think it's kind of new to the moment. But I'd really like to see that, and it's going to help round the team out. But Tamani Lenore returning some fire back down the line.
Yeah, Tula and Venegas there to get the crucial side out. But right now, if you need a point, you're going to Blair.
Yeah.
Oh, can't get it to clear. And the Stunners, 2 points in a row. And very much back into this set, down 1.
I think that's definitely a missed setting opportunity. Whether you try to force Blair there, just make the easy set. Give your guys a chance. Especially with Molesky transitioning to opposite.
And 3 in a row and an ace. Damani Lenore. And the Stunners have tied it at 17.
Well, these teams are really both turning on their best volleyball at the last part of the game here.
4th ace of the match. And then the overball, and Beamer puts it down.
Venegas twice in a row.
And now Chicago is the one who has to talk it over. So how quickly it evaporates. A 3-point lead, now a 1-point deficit for the OC Stunners trying to win this in 4. Noah Chastover trying to back here courtside now 18-17 after the Chicago timeout. Noah Chast was listening in on the Chicago discussion. What do you have for us?
And that Chicago bench saying they need to be quicker, set up quicker, that the serve is coming very rapidly from this side, and they need to get focused and locked in on a much quicker pace as they do as this rally stays alive by the Stunners somehow. Meanwhile, on the Untouchable, on the OC Stunner side, Matt Hilling doing his best mindfulness impression and saying his team needs to be focused, not executing better, not communicating better, but more focused on the court. And you need focus to follow that rally back and forth, ending with a Chicago point.
Well, you talk about mindfulness, something that the OC Stunners employing there is they did a blocking sub. Logan Zodovich playing out of left front there to put Tanner Woods out of right front, so that they were expecting that Venegas was going to be getting the out-of-system ball as opposed to Molesky after that misconnection on the D ball. So they were willing to leave the shorter Zodovich blocking against Molesky there.
Good observation by you there, Nick. Lenore found the court open and found the slot between Blair and Payne.
That seam was wide open.
And now a 19-18 lead. The Stunners had themselves a 1-point edge, 6 away from the win. And that's left short.
19-19, the dog days of set number 4. If you're just joining us here, you're watching the Chicago Untouchables taking on the OC Stunners. Very important match for both of these squads as they would look to push to 2-1.
Moises Lopez, the server. That is off the block, and Hilling gets the result he needs. And remember, every match is important in the NVA because it's only a 10-match regular season. Not a lot of wiggle room if you find yourselves 0-3 on the season, or 1-2 at least you can bounce back from.
Yeah, absolutely, Ira. It comes and goes very fast.
But this might be the one chance for teams to get the Stunners before they get stronger in the second half of the season. Matt Hilling swinging away. From the back row, oh, the big slash.
Well run Payne.
And it's not just Langston now bringing the pain.
I expect we'll see him for Founders this weekend, making his debut with a new team.
I had breakfast with Langston Payne and the Philadelphia Founders today.
Oh, well then, guaranteed we'll see him.
As that finds the line, Venegas with the ace. Yeah, I sat down, had lunch. Well, it was about 10 o'clock, so it was breakfast, lunch, sometime around there.
And they're going to challenge that one in.
So they will challenge whether that's in or out. But Langston Payne, we were talking about, he's still living in Florida, trying to still practice with this Philadelphia team. Played, of course, for the Southern Exposure Squad and was been one of their more reliable middles over the last few years. But living in Southern Florida or Central Florida, he's found a new passion, not just volleyball now. He has become an active golfer. And so much so that he had to get custom golf clubs because he's 6'5".
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to find ones you're comfortable with, but he's out there. He's playing multiple times per week, and volleyball is his 1, but golf is quickly becoming his 1A.
There you go. Keeping it dynamic. You talk about the secondary sport. We've got a new fun dynamic that we'll be seeing here this weekend on Southern Exposure. They have a professional disc golfer. There is a combo I don't think you would ever expect to see. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get there on Saturday.
Actually, something I have played multiple times in New Jersey, because we do have some areas with woods, and we have some disc golf courses kind of just go through the woods. You spray yourself with bug spray because you will find yourself deep in the wilderness with some of my throws.
Yeah. Send it
fun little
over.
game. It's a fun little game. By the way,
I'll stick to this.
You can't really drink while you're playing volleyball, but you could definitely do it while playing disc golf.
I won't start to challenge or confirm nor deny, but there's a game out here we like to play called Ace, and it's a fun time for all involved. So this challenge is taking a little bit longer than I expect. I know it's a newer challenge system with what we're running, but we're getting a confirmation for R2 Atlee here, so we'll see.
Elvin Otley getting the final call. Matt Hilling wants to know the answer. Is it in or is it out? Elvin Otley getting some good airtime here, by the way.
Ball was in. Point will stay for Untouchables.
And Daniel Venegas vindicated with the ace.
Quick rule of thumb, whatever side the ref goes to, when he goes to the opposite side of the net, whoever's on the other side, they're getting the point. That's the quick read. So as he started going left, it stays with Chicago.
This is a England insight that I did not actually know. So
yep, you can get the answer 30 seconds, or a third of a second faster.
Ooh, that one, a little cross up between Hilling and Woods there. And Hilling just walks away from his teammate as Woods got crossed up. And on back-to-back aces for Venegas here in Chicago on the precipice of a 5th set. Another good serve. They go to Matt Hilling, and he takes his frustration out on the ball. Crucial serve coming up here for the Stunners. They don't want to go to a 5th set against Chicago. Untouchables have already won in 5 this year.
Yeah, certainly don't.
That is behind Payne, able to dump it over. Chance to tie it here. Damani does it. Damani Lenore with the kill, and now it's a race to 3, tied at 22.
And the importance there is you're earning one of the tiebreakers that is used is overall points scored, and you earn 3 points for a win in 3 or 4 sets, 2 for a win in 5, 1 for a loss in 5, and 0 for any loss in 3 or 4. So Stunners, with their only win being in 5, they only got 2 points, not a full 3. They certainly don't want another 5-set win here.
Barajas going to leave it here for Payne, and he misses long. Chicago feels like there's a touch. Chicago believes there's a touch. Matt Prosser's coming over to talk to Elvin Otley. And Matt Prosser likely is going to use his last challenge. Remember, if we go to a 5th, and it looks like we might head there, he will get one back. But they are going to challenge the touch here. They are ruling that there was a touch, side out Chicago, leading by 1.
All right, so they're going to look at the block on that one. Damani Lenore and I think it was West was the front row middle at the time, both confirming no touch there. I personally didn't see one either, but Chicago pretty convinced, but maybe they were trying to will their way into a point after several, tough losses there.
And Ira, that conversation you were mentioning, just Matt Prosser confirming he still had one challenge left. He won one and he lost one so far in this match. And Nick West adamant, looking right into Matt Prosser's soul, saying, I did not touch that, challenge it right away. So the only discussion was, do we have a challenge to use? Which is why using them in other points in the game are so important for spots like this, 23, 22, touch, no touch. That's why you need it right now.
Yeah, so the overall count right now, they're successful on one, failed on one, which means they still have 2 remaining. So if they get this wrong, they'll be down to just 1. But if they get it right, they're still sitting at 2 challenges. So they're sitting just fine, because regardless of how many they have, they're about to only have 1 here. And if this goes to a 5th set, it didn't matter if they still had 3. The rule is you get to set number 5, you only have 1 remaining challenge.
And if you win, you get to keep it. If not, it's gone.
You got
better
it.
use it wisely in that 5th set, because we have seen teams waste those 5th set challenges and then not had it when they needed it.
All right, we're getting the feedback here from the challenge. And that's going to be a point for the Chicago Untouchables. Touch confirmed.
Hey, look, he went to the other side of the net. You're right, Nick. And Nick West doesn't agree with it as he looks up at the replay booth on the upper level here, Long Beach City College. But a touch is called. Stunner's still convinced they didn't touch it.
Again, this is what Prosser and I talked about during match number 1. I know you weren't on the call, but this is one that if you challenge no touch and you get called for the touch, you look silly, because this is one that you should know unless you're really looking for a call. Little confused on where the team is on different pages here.
And it looks like there might have been an incorrect hand gesture made, and there's the correct one.
Gotcha.
No touch. Point for the Stunners.
So there is no touch.
The drama.
They reverse it. And it will instead be OC Stunner ball at 23-22. And Chicago Untouchables.
And this just speaks to exactly what we were saying about, like, you should never miss that challenge. So this being called this way is no surprise by any means.
Little conversation here between Daniel Venegas, number 6. Whistle had not blown, so.
We are just in all sorts of, we're in it right now, boys. All right, 23-22, Logan Zodovich to serve. We're getting our books situated here. Our data volley system getting fully updated.
The woman in blue sitting at the table, she's one of the biggest assets of the NVA. That's Kenzie Shan. Yeah, there she is, getting some airtime. The official statistician of the NVA.
Yep.
Coaches in Utah.
At Utah State.
She keeps moving around. I can't remember. She was at Kenyon, at Springfield. I think it's Utah State now. Utah Valley. I told her to go to Zion. Go hiking. It's good for you. 23-22. Molesky down the line. Misses wide. And this will bring up match point.
Moises Lopez missing location on the backside repeatedly.
And this will be timeout Chicago. Double match point coming up for the OC Stunners.
Nick West.
We're back here, 24-22. The Stunners looking to hold on for their second win of the season. Payne, drink some Payne to stave off match point.
That's a clutch swing right there. Payne's been a little hot and cold, made some small misses that just didn't quite find hands to have the confidence to go out and find that swing.
Match
Excellent.
point number 2, Zachar Pasha, your server. It's going to be a free ball, and they pay for it. Joshua Blair says no mas.
Wow, Pasha with a easy float serve gets the better of Tanner Woods.
Woods has been struggling today.
A little bit, yeah.
In that serve receive, he's done so much offensively to help the Stunners. Got to clean up that pass, though. And we are going to play more volleyball here in set 4 at 24 all.
The race to +2 begins now.
You're going to leave it here for Hilling. Pasha with the dig. Molesky misses wide. I think feet got tangled up there with Damani Lenore, who's a little slow to his feet, but match point number 3. Molesky couldn't keep it on the court. Matt Hilling serving for the Stunners, 25-24. Good pass by Venegas, and Joshua Blair gets the defiant touch.
And that's what I wanted to see Blair getting set on the last one. Then when they went to the right side, Molesky misses. They've had 4 missed connections on the right side. When you're in that moment, Josh Blair is your guy.
He's your
gotta feed him.
point. Absolutely. Molesky, your server. Woods, that's going to find the slot, and he makes up for the bad pass with a smart attack. And this will now be match point number 4 for the Stunners.
This is going to be a tough one here because West loves to serve down the line to 1. This is going to be tough for Lopez based on where he's starting this rotation, coming across the front of the net from 4.
For the match. Good pass. Payne, we play on.
Wow. Absolutely clinical there. And this is going to be one more time we're going to see that blocking substitution. Number 5 coming in. That's Ramon Matos for Chicago Untouchables. So once again, they have no setter on the court. If they're able to get a block touch and slow it down, anyone that can get that second ball, it's their ball to get.
And Shane Beamer sends it back to his side. 27-26. Match point number 5 for the Stunners.
Moises Lopez returning to the court. Setter is back engaged. Damani Lenore found an ace the last time he was serving.
Of course, they're going to go to the man they could count on. That's Josh Blair. This talented rookie continues to carry Chicago on his back, and he will drop back to serve here. And I don't have Blair's updated numbers, but, I mean, his hitting percentage at this point, Nick's got to be close to 800 today. He's been that efficient.
He's hitting at an insane clip. Perfect pass by Hilling.
Oh, Matt Hilling.
My.
No, not Matt Hilling. That is Woods. And the Chicago Untouchables not out of the woods yet, because that will be match point number 6. What an incredible back and forth ending to this 4th set.
This set is going to Venegas on the outside. I would not be surprised to see another blocking move to bring Hilling out to the right.
Woods, after his biggest swing of the day, off the court, gets the ace, and the Stunners win. Tanner Woods with the ace, 29-27. Chicago gave Orange County everything they could handle, but ultimately the experience of the OC Stunners too much, and the final opportunity was the one that they cashed in, 29-27, and they win this match today, 25-23, 22-25, 25-23, and 29-27. Wow, that was certainly one that it was close throughout, but that 4th set took it to a new level.
It absolutely did. But again, when you talk about enthusiasm and things that you're looking for from a team, Chicago Untouchables, a lot of pieces were working well for them, and some things clearly weren't, but that's okay. To take on the OC Stunners and just knock down, drag out, fight in that manner, that's one you're okay with. And that's, I think that's going to, behoove them as they look forward at the rest of the weekend. Can't recall off the top of my head who else Chicago's playing this weekend, but that's going to put them in a nice spot if they can bring that level of intensity back for their next match.
Chicago will play the Utah Stingers tomorrow at 6 p.m. So that's that's going to be a match that they could play.
That's going to be a great match. But we've got our man of the match now.
Wonder who that might be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Nick West.
Send it over to Noah Chast. Nick West, take it away, guys.
Thanks, guys. Nick, that was fun at the end. Were you having fun out there?
That was fun. I had a great time, There was some ups, there were some downs. We took control, lost control, took control back again, and some close challenges there. No, all around, I think that was a good 3 points for us. We, worked through some adversity pretty well, and at the end of the day, yeah, it was a great match. And kudos to them. They're a really good team this year. They're much improved, and we're just happy to come away with the W.
Yeah, and amid the chaos, the ups and downs, some challenge stuff, sort of a calming presence you had in the middle, 6 blocks, 8 for 12 offensively. What sort of pride do you take in being a consistent player when your team needs it the most?
I guess I'd take pride in that. I'm just here to help them out wherever they need me. Today they needed me at the middle, and I was happy to get those blocks and those kills, and it means a lot. It means a lot to start off with a 2-1 record now.
Congrats on the win, Nick. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Good to see you.
All right, you too. Oh, I got papers in my hand. There we go. Back to Ira and Nick.
Thanks, Noah. And yeah, you can never go wrong with Nick West as your selection for man of the match. Got to give some credit to Wee Ding, who was the libero today for the Stunners. He certainly was in the conversation as well. Did a really good job today, not only defensively filling in for Dylan Chikakawa, but also being the one guy that they could count on in that serve receive today. Listen, when we made our picks in the pregame show today and you went against the curve and went against the grain and picked Chicago, I was like, do you really want to do that? But for a moment, I thought that was going to pay off for you today. This is a much improved Chicago team. And, yeah, they might be 1-2 today, but tomorrow, 6 p.m., they take on Utah. Stingers better be ready.
Yep, absolutely. Well, that's a great match all around. Up next here, we're going to have Texas Tyrants as they take on the Philadelphia Founders. That's going to be coming your way at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 Eastern.
And don't forget the final match of the day. That's the one this next one you got to tune in for, and then the other one you got to tune in for and bring a beverage because, get ready. The San Diego Wild and the Las Vegas Ramblers, that'll be our final one. But, again, Philadelphia coming up next, and that's certainly going to be a chance for us to get a look at one of these new teams. And for those who have not seen the Founders yet, they have some pieces, formerly members of Chicago, formerly members of New Jersey. They are a team that's certainly, again, a first-year team, but one you want to keep an eye on. That's our next match. 2 more on tap today. Great match here. The Utah Stingers, the OC Stunners, 2-1 on the year. They get the full 3 points. That's what's important for them today. Don't go to 5. As they improved to 2-1 on the year. For Noah Chast, Nick England, and our entire crew, I'm Ira Thor. Next one's coming up, and we hope you tune in for that one.